All right, we are live now. So this is Indie Talk with Jesse and Jaron featuring Minnesota pro wrestler Matt Shaw. So how's it going, Matt?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Not too
Pretty
bad.
good.
Can't complain.
Yeah. So yeah, first time being on, and it's awesome to have you on. It's you actually you had a big event over the weekend in WillmarMania 3. What did you think about that?
Oh, dude, that was the most excitement and the most nervousness I've ever felt before a show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been nervous, before, but like this whole show was just, it was a lot. I was
Yeah.
happy with how it went, though, and I was happy with the turnout, everything like that. It was awesome. It was a great night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was definitely a great night, and I was there, and they said it was a attendance of 1,025. So that's definitely got to be the biggest show I've ever attended. So. Mm-hmm.
Same here. I was happy they told me after the match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was insane that. Yeah, probably every. I was looking around, and yeah, had every seat had to have been filled up, and I wasn't sure if the bleachers would get filled, but no, they did pretty good with that. So yeah.
They usually do pretty good, or WillmarMania usually does a pretty good turnout. This was the best by far out of the three, but yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
usually do pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's my first WillmarMania, so it was awesome to be there. So yeah.
That was my third. First as a wrestler. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
that. First as a wrestler.
Oh yeah. All right, but yeah, it was definitely an awesome night. We got to see WWE legends slash Hall of Famers Hornswoggle and Medusa. Were you able to talk with them a little bit?
I talked to Medusa a little bit. My girlfriend had a pretty interesting interaction with her before the show that I thought was hilarious. But I got to talk to her a little bit, introduce myself, and then I got to talk to Hornswoggle, ask him for advice, do what I usually like to do with any name that's backstage that's bigger than me, which is everybody. So
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I
I
ended
was
up
able to.
spending most of the show talking to Facade too, because he's a really cool guy. If you actually got to talk to him, oh,
Mhm.
he's such a cool guy. I love talking to
Mhm.
him.
Yeah. Definitely a great dude. And yeah, I went up to Medusa and Swoggle too, and just talking to them. Medusa was just like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you, and great stuff at the ring." I mean, it was a little bit before my time, so I didn't know really what to say. But then when I went to Hornswoggle, I was like, WrestleMania 23, you got slammed, slammed by Anderson, and I don't know if that was a good way to say it, but I was like, it was a good moment. So he was just like, oh, just
It was,
smiling.
yeah, meeting them and performing in front of them was definitely a lot of. It gave me a lot of anxiety, but like when I got out there, everything was just the crowd made me like, holy cow.
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
definitely.
there's a different feeling for me at least when you're behind the curtain versus going out there and seeing all these people. When I was able to watch some of the show backstage and seeing the crowd during like the Rampage and Verk match or Danny not Danny the women's title match. I'm
Oh,
blanking for something. Laney and Sierra, excuse me. Laney and
ladies.
Sierra. That's what it
Yeah,
was. Sorry. But seeing them and then being like, okay, they're pretty hyped up, and hearing them the entire night backstage downstairs, and then
mhm,
going out there and seeing it for myself, being like, all right, don't look nervous. Don't look nervous.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely. Yeah, if I was a wrestler, it definitely would be nerve wracking just to perform in front of all those people. So, yeah,
And I think Chris Crow noticed that I was nervous too, because right before like our music hit, we had a long intro with our music. I think it
yeah,
was like a 30-second wait, and um, Chris could tell I was nervous because I'm sitting there and doing my little pre-match ritual where I just kind of sit there and take a deep breath and focus on myself. And Chris kind
mhm.
of smacks me and he goes, you're first. You're going out first. I'm like, aye.
Get out of there. Yeah, you're going. Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely an awesome main event, and it's 6-man match to end the night was definitely awesome. So yeah,
They were loud. I think you can visibly see me go, oh, as soon as Steve got tagged in and I hear the crowd, I kind of looked around and I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah, it was insane, and especially when you got the lights, I think that makes it a little scarier too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it felt like I had a spotlight on me the entire night, because I spent the match getting beat up. But it felt like I had a spotlight on me, and I was like, I don't like this because if I screw up, so many people that I even know are gonna, they're gonna see it because I had family there, I had friends there. That's my hometown after all. So I had a lot of people that I knew that had never seen me wrestle before, even on video. So I was very nerve-wracking to say the least.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we were actually talking to someone from Wilmer, Minnesota too. He's a fan. His name's Jason, and he was just talking a little bit about. I mean, he moved when he was young, but it's still cool that being from Wilmer and then going to a big event like that for Wilmer. So yeah.
Wilmer's not really a wrestling town either, so the fact that we got that many people was awesome. It made me really, really happy. So.
Yeah. What was it like teaming up with what was his Steve Pepin, right? Steve Pepin,
yep.
The barber
guy. With Steve, it was a lot of fun because I've also known Steve for about 5-6 years. So seeing Steve and being in the ring with him was super cool to me as well because I love Steve. Steve's always been good to me. I've always been good to him. So we've helped each other out with stuff.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, when I first saw him, I was like, that is a big dude. And then find out he's only a barber. I think he could do.
Yeah.
I think he could be a wrestler. So yeah.
He leaned over to me when we were sitting there waiting for one of them to be tagged. He leaned over to me. He goes, "I see why you guys do this now." And I was like, "Yep." I'm a little nervous, but yeah, this is why we do it.
Yeah. The crowd reception alone is just insane, and then when you got a production like MAW, that makes it all better too. So yeah,
and that was my debut for MAW, so that was a lot of fun, and especially with having, I see the comment on the side. I'll let you bring that up, but seeing one of my closest friends and one of the people that I personally love as a human being, getting to see him again was super cool too.
Yeah, I can bring that up. Mr. Moses Mayhem approves of Matt, and yeah, like you said, Moses, I've saw him in 2019, and then never really saw him again. But I kept in contact as I made the first 2 ever custom Moses Mayhem figures. So we've been had a close bondage there just for making figures for him. So yeah, great dude.
During the second WillmarMania, I don't remember the match he had, but I know that during the entire build up to WillmarMania 2, I was posting about every single match. It was like, oh, Chris Crow versus Angel Dorado, now known as Dante Martin. And then oh, Moses Mayhem versus this guy. I can't remember his match for some reason, but I kept posting about it. I pretty much promoted the show for him. So I think he liked that. I think he was like, oh, this kid's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, definitely awesome to see him return to MAW. And I don't think anyone was expecting that. So
I surely wasn't. He showed up before the show started, and I saw him, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Hey, buddy." I'm like, "Hold on, what are you doing here?"
I don't know. You have to see. Yeah. It's definitely a better kept secret than Cody coming back to the WWE.
That was the biggest unsurprising secret ever, or surprising secret, non-secret, whatever, something like that. We all expected it, we all wanted it, but like you didn't think it would actually happen. So
yeah, yeah. That return was everyone knew. I was thinking it wouldn't because people were just like they really wanted it, but then I was like, that's probably Cody. So yeah, there's no way it would be anybody else. So
oh no, I
yeah.
actually have a tattoo because of Cody. It's right over here. I don't know if you can't really see it because I'm not pulling my hoodie down all the way, but it's the dream tattoo that he has. I got it for his dad, and then I saw he had it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you got it before Cody.
I think I got it a little bit after he did, but I never really noticed it because I'm not one to really go. I follow so many wrestlers and so much wrestling on social media that I don't see everything.
Yeah.
Like if someone posts, like apparently Cesaro just changed his name to Claudio Cesaro without the E or something like that.
Oh.
And I didn't notice that until like 100 groups that I'm in on Facebook were like, Cesaro is now Claudio Cesaro. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, those Facebook groups, you just find random stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting.
I love them. They're so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch that I'm on too. So yeah. All right, I'll have Jesse go now.
All right, so let's talk about your training a little bit. Who trained you?
So this is where it gets a little interesting, actually. So as I'm sure you guys are familiar with the AWF, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So they used to run a camp. It kind of moved around where it was located for a while, from what I know. But when I went there for about a little bit of time. I don't remember how long because it ended right as COVID started. I wasn't able to go anymore, and all this other stuff got in the way. But it was in the back of a vape shop in Monticello. I got to go there, and I was trained by referee Alex Benson a little bit. Very good friend of mine as well, and or former referee. Excuse me, he's gonna smack me for saying referee, but former referee Alex Benson. And then on top of that, it was a fellow professional wrestler named AJ Steele. And then just in February, once I got the booking for WillmarMania, I wanted to look good in my hometown. I wanted to, not look like the drizzling craps in WillmarMania. So I went to this 2-day camp in Midwest All Pro after Lucky Lund and Dags bought it from Nick Dinsmore. And I went there, and then I started training like a couple of weeks after with them. So as of now, I'm currently a student of Midwest All Pro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've definitely heard of both those companies, and I believe what was it, last Wednesday we were talking to AWF superstar Crixus, and he was telling the same story about the AWF camp and stuff. So yeah,
right around the time that I went is about the time that he didn't go there as much, I think, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, okay.
But yeah, he's also another good buddy of mine. I love Crixus. For years, like as soon as I met him, for a long time, we'd always make fun of each other and tease each other. Every time we go there, I'd be like, "Oh, you gotta get beat up today?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you up after I get beat up." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Have fun."
It's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's cool when all these. Yeah. It's cool when things just come relate to each other. I'm like, oh, that happened. Then they're friends and they know each other, and then wrestling camp. So yeah.
Facade, actually, going back a little bit to the WillmarMania, Facade, the Neon Ninja, he was actually a part of the first show that I ever did, and having him in my first show of 2022, and on top of that being my first show in a couple months, and the first show in my hometown was super cool. I even told him, I was like, "Hey, you were a part of my first show." He was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, it was this company over this way or whatever." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, we got in trouble there." He's like, "I got in trouble in my match." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, we got yelled at for doing this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, Cool.
Mm. It's a great way to say something. Oh yeah, we were at that place, got in trouble.
I was like, but hey, your match looked good. It was a good match.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, he's. I don't think I've actually heard the right pronunciation, and
I apologize for penis.
I thought it was like facade, and I'm like, I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but now that I've actually heard it, that's a good thing. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you were glitching out there a bit.
You got any other questions for me, Jesse?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I kind of find it fascinating that most of the wrestlers outside of wrestling, they have like a real job that they do. But then when you go to wrestling and they see you, they're like, "Oh, you actually work at this place. How how do you relate from your real job to doing wrestling?"
So my real job, I don't know how to describe it. As of now, my real job is like a Subway type thing. It isn't Subway, but it's only local to here in Marshall, Minnesota. So I kind of like used that job to kind of up my people skills a little bit. I use it to kind of keep myself from people.
Right.
Oh.
No.
From being like, anxious and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. How do you?
So, now he's playing tricks on us.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Jobs in wrestling. It's always interesting to see. I've never met a person at a place and then found out that they were a wrestler in the Midwest. So I think it's definitely. I guess it could be a bucket list item now. I'm like, oh, you're a wrestler and you work at this place. So yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So there's an event coming up on May 14th in Faribault, Minnesota. Has MAW talked to you about maybe appearing at that show or doing a match?
They have not. As of now, I'm kind of healing up a little bit because I have some nagging injuries that I kind of want to deal with, but they haven't brought it up to me yet. I'm going to try to get a little bit more training, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more work in before I do end up doing a little bit more shows and stuff. I'd love to go back with MAW though. That was really fun to be with them the first time, and I am not against going again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely would be awesome to meet it or have you on May 14th. But if I know you are still early in the game, and getting as much training as you can is definitely important. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once these injuries get all healed up, I'll start getting back on my grind and start getting better in the ring. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, reading some comments from Kia or was it Kaya or Kia.K.29. There's a bunch of comments. Well, before stuff was happening, she said, "Bring Matt Shaw back," and we definitely have him back right here.
Yeah, he's back.
So, fun fact about her. That's
Mhm.
actually my girlfriend. She's out in the other room,
Oh.
and I can hear her dying of laughter.
Oh, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe, but
Honestly, if it wasn't for her, though, I wouldn't be as far as I am in this short of time in wrestling because I'm very like self-doubtful, like as a bunch of wrestlers are. I always be like, oh, I did that wrong, I screwed that up, I'm bad at this, and she'll be like, Matt, shut up.
uh, just do it, Matt. Just do it.
Exactly what happens. She'll be like, just go back to training, work out at camp, do whatever you have to. You'll be fine tomorrow. And then I'll come back and watch the match. Be like, oh, I didn't do that too bad. She'll be like, see, yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. She gone to every single event that you've been to or been on?
Every single one. Out of she's been to all 4 of them. She's helped me out. She actually made these little the sweatshirt that I have. You can barely see it, but these sweatshirts were supposed to come in before WillmarMania. We only got 2 of them made just because they're expensive, but they were supposed to come before WillmarMania. Ended up coming the day after.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I was very happy about that. I was like, great, I can't wear my new hoodies that have super cool designs on them.
No. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely got to be frustrating. I got new merch and it's not here.
I was like, maybe I can show off the merch, and if people want them, I can, make them and send them out, and then I can't even show it off.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely. I mean, what you had was good, but yeah, definitely new merch and everything. So, yeah.
I wore the Wilmer shirt for, the cheap little pop to get that little excitement. Be like, oh, he is from Wilmer. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she was going on. She's going on a few more lines here. Just go match shop for life. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. And then who's this? Kool-Aid Man 71 says, "Thank God Matt Shaw is back. We thank God Matt is here." I'm
Garen,
assuming.
you're embarrassing them now.
Oh,
All right. You want another story? That's actually her sister's boyfriend. Pretty sure it's him. But if it is, my friends and family running on my interview like this is.
Oh man.
Yeah. Always good to have family support.
Yeah, family support.
Right.
Oh man. And then a comment from Mr. Bullybrand Clothing Company. He says puppy love, which I'm assuming that's part of his steel or his thing because he is a Bullybrand and has the big bulldog on there. So, yeah.
Mr. Bullybrand. Oh, shout out to him. I love that man. I've known him for a while too. He's the whole reason I help out with WillmarMania every single year. He's the whole reason I got to be a part of WillmarMania this year.
Oh.
So if it wasn't for him, I really don't think I would have wrestled on the show. I might have. I don't know. I don't know what happened with all that, but he's always been a huge supporter of mine. After I wrestled Chris Crow actually in October for Crush Pro Wrestling. And I think like in January, I got texted like, hey, WillmarMania 3's coming up. I'm like, oh, cool. And then a week later, or like a day later, I got another text from Mr. Bullybrand, Dustin. He was like, dude, your match with Crow, and then sent a bunch of fire emojis. I was like, oh, thank you. And then about like 2-3 weeks later, I get a text from Eli being like, you want to be a part of WillmarMania 3? I was like, yeah, sure. Been waiting for this.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Dustin, great dude. I've met him a few times now. First time was at Ironheart Pro, and then now at WillmarMania. So yeah, he's been
very nice guy. I love him. He's made fun of me forever. He's like a bigger brother, and
yeah.
Which is the case with a lot of guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Dustin and Bullybrand Clothing Company. So, yeah.
Buy the shirts; they're really good. I don't have one yet, but they're really good.
Yeah, he was the one that made all the WillmarMania 3 pay-per-view shirts. So, yeah, those things were awesome from what I saw. So, yeah.
Dustin busts his butt for WillmarMania. He busts his butt for Bullybrand. He busts his butt for everything he does, and that's what I respect about Dustin. He's one of the most hardworking people I've ever met. So,
Yeah, definitely. Um, where should I go? Who is a Midwest independent wrestler you would like to face?
Oh man, I have how much time we got? There's a lot of people I've
Yeah,
always
we got a lot of time yet.
there's a lot of people I've always like met, like known, and then like always wanted to face. At the very top of my list in like a dream match scenario because of current situations is Craven Knight. Always have
Mm,
wanted to face him.
mhm,
Under him, directly under him, is Orin Veidt. I've been very good friends with Orin for a long time. He's the one of the few guys I go to for advice. I go to about everything. And then there's a bunch of other names. Right under Orin too is Sebastian Taylor, another good buddy of mine. I love him to death too. But other than that, we have Ryan Cruz, Josh Price, Scott Story, JDX, like a bunch of people.
mhm,
And
mhm.
honestly, Stonehenge. I'd love to get in the ring with Stonehenge. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I can't forget Moses Mayhem. I have to say his name. No,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to work with Moses too.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are all definitely awesome names, and yeah, Craven Knight. I've been seeing him for years, probably the last 6 or 7 years now, and he's an awesome wrestler, and I wish he wouldn't retire, but it's what he's got to do. So yeah, yeah, great dude, and Moses
He
Mayhem is
did tell me
awesome.
never say never, so that's hopeful.
Oh, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. That definitely would be cool to see him down the line again. And
100%.
yeah, Stonehenge. We were talking to him for 2 hours a week ago now. So
That was a
yeah.
long
Goofy
show.
dude, but I love him to death. He's an awesome guy.
He is very goofy. I mean,
Mhm.
he's just one of those guys that you want to strangle him, but in the end, you know he's just a good guy who likes to have fun.
Hmm.
He during my first or before my first show in Minnesota, which was in July for Crushed Pro Wrestling, I was sitting there like trying to think of what moves I should do. What should I try? What should I whatever, right? I was thinking of all that. And Stonehenge was sitting there and he's like, "What you doing? You working?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm working tonight. I'm working AJ Steele." He's like, "You should do a shooting star press off the top rope, brother." I'm like, "No, definitely not."
Mm. Shooting star press. Yeah, that
I can't
definitely
even do a
sounds
front flip to save my life.
like it. Oh man, yeah, some of those moves are insane, and yeah, shooting star press is just a back, or is it a moonsault, but you're going forward, and that definitely looks scary and difficult to do. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely not be my move, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, you go, Jesse.
All right. So, have you ever had any interactions with the system's cameraman Johnny Oxbow?
I've had a little bit. We've had a couple of conversations here and there. He's a good dude as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he is. We'll say he is. He's under the system's pay, so of course he's got to be a good guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. That Johnny Oxbow, he's been on our show. Was it 2 or 3 times now? And
I think it's three.
I think it's three. Yeah, yeah. Kind of weaseled his way in on a couple times though, but he is he is who he is. So yeah,
Well,
he's a
Rampage calls him Johnny Knoxville.
I will say,
Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. He
that's another name
misspoke.
going back to the other question is Rampage. I'd love to wrestle Rampage too. I forgot about him. I'm sorry, Rampage. I love you, but I forgot about that one. Rampage, and your next guest after me, Jacob Savage, is another one. I love Jacob.
Mhm.
Oh, he's such
Yeah.
a
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we do. Viewers, we got Jacob Savage on
Yeah.
after this show, so we can't wait to talk to him. And yeah, Rampage Santana, I've known him, I mean, pretty much since almost around the time he debuted. Maybe it's about a year in, but yeah, great dude, and he's definitely tearing up the Midwest area. So yeah, for just a short time period. Mm-hmm.
He's a good dude, and I'm proud of him because I've gotten to see one of his first few matches with AWF, and then I get to kind of see him now, and seeing that progress from him it's insane. Like props to
Mm-hmm.
him, hats off to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
There, I'm putting
yeah.
you over, Rampage. You can be happy now, bud.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Rampage Santana. So yeah. Um. What do you hope to accomplish the most in wrestling?
Oh man, there's a lot I would love to do. Honestly, my biggest goal that I would love to do before I start listing off other goals is go to Impact Wrestling. That's definitely like the end all be all for me because it's the one company I've always watched and always had a love for my entire time that I've known it. Obviously, I've loved WWE too, but wrestling wise, I've always been a fan of Impact. Even if they were doing really dumb things, I still loved it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. They've well back then they were doing a lot of stuff that they really shouldn't have with all the signings, but yeah, overall it's a great company though. So yeah. Hmm. And I think who is it? Who's the guy running it again? The
Damn of mine.
what is? I know he was part of the Real Canadian or something
Oh,
back.
Scott Demore.
Scott
That's
Moore.
who's running it right now.
Yeah, yeah,
That would
yeah.
have
Scott.
killed me if we never figured that out.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, so you didn't remember my name? You're not going to Impact now.
Right? Yep. I'm buried. I'm buried tonight, guys.
Oh man. But yeah, he's definitely been doing a great job, and he brought the Bullet Club into Impact, which is pretty crazy. So, Switchblade Jay White is an Impact. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely done a lot of work for them in a short period of time. I mean, he brought back Rich Swann, Eric Young,
Mm-hmm.
among others. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Seeing good old EY back in Impact was awesome to see. So, big EY fan, and yeah, yeah. And the match that he had with James Storm, I think it was a while ago now. It's just cool to see Impact Originals going at it again in a feud. And then it's the same night Chris Harris returned too for
Hmm.
AMW. So yeah.
one of the first tag teams that actually made me like try. I've always loved tag teams, but like they were the one tag team that I was like, I love this. This is what I want to do. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be a tag wrestler. And then I started watching other people. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do tag wrestling for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely is a different art form and definitely different psychology to wrestling. So yeah. Mm-hmm. All
I was
right.
just
Oh,
happy
you
during
go.
WillmarMania when Chris Crow was in the ring. He took his sweet time tagging me, and I was very happy about that because I was sitting there
Mhm.
nervous, and I'm like, "All right, Crow, take your time, go slow. You stay in there for a little bit, man, and then I'll help you out. All right."
Yeah, yeah. You got to even out the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen though because Crow was like, "You know what? You're coming in." I'm like, "Ah, cool. Love you too, buddy."
Yeah, yeah. And Steve's like, oh, you guys go at it. So,
He didn't have to do
yeah.
much. He hit a body slam.
Yeah, that's all he did. He hit a body slam at the end. I'm like, oh, that's a good way to end it. But are you doing? Yeah, yeah.
It was that match was that match is gonna be one of my favorites for a long time. It was honestly some of the most fun I've ever had. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely an awesome match there. So yeah. All right, I'll let you go, Jesse.
All right. So, what would be your favorite match to compete in?
oh, that's okay. That's definitely not where I thought you were going with that question. To compete in.
Mm,
So this isn't really just one match. It's just more of like it's basically just a no DQ match. But like I've always wanted to do the style of deathmatch wrestling at least once in my life.
mm-hmm.
But like one match that I've always wanted to do is a TLC match. I'm a
Okay.
very big Jeff Hardy fan, and I've always wanted to jump off that ladder at least one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jeff Hardy in the ladder match is definitely classics, and I mean, ladder matches do look cool. So yeah, and yeah. Speaking of Jeff Hardy too, I saw that you met him in January. What was that like?
Oh, dude, I've met a lot of big names, right? I've met Brett, met Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I've met Ken Anderson a handful of times, I've met Bob Holly, I've met a lot of people, but
Mm-hmm.
meeting Jeff was just a surreal experience that I never thought would happen. So when I was able to go there and meet him, I paid $150 to sit with him alone for 5 minutes, which was awesome. I walked in the door and he goes, "Hey man, how you doing? It's good to meet you." Blah blah blah. Like he's known me already. He's like, all happy and like excited. I'm like, "Hi, you're Jeff."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Jeff.
It was a super cool experience. And he's a very very cool guy. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of my Facebook friends being able to meet Jeff Hardy, and it's just cool that he's doing all that. And I wish I had the opportunity. He had to cancel a show in Dilworth, Minnesota, that I was going to due to flight issues, and I never got that chance. So it's just cool to live it through other people, I guess. So yeah. Mm. Oh, oh,
Not this again.
he's freezing again.
advice. I guess the guy for advice.
Mhm.
The one thing I wanted to ask him was how did the part of his match with Orton feel where Orton took that screwdriver and drove it
Uh,
through his piercing
Oh,
and then twisted it.
that was.
And instantly he goes, "Dude, sucked." I'm like, "All right, calm down, stop."
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. That looked incredibly painful. I'm like, oh god, that's
yeah.
not PG at all, right there. hmm He's like, I think that's the first time anybody's
Thinking
ever
about it
done
now just makes my skin.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
That'll be
was
seeing me, gentlemen.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you should get your ears done like that, and then you can face Chris Crow, and he'll do that to you. Oh man. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I guess we'll give it a sec. Oh, yeah. Mm, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'll go with another question. Actually, I'll just go down with a list of wrestlers and what were your original thoughts. So, we'll go down the line first with Steve Pepin.
Oh, like what are my thoughts on them?
Yeah. Well, my question is just go down a list of names here and just talk about your first original thoughts when meeting
Okay.
them firsthand. So, Yeah, we'll start off with Steve first.
Very large, very
Yeah,
large, very big man.
yeah, definitely a big man.
When I met him, I was really young, and I was like, yeah, very big man. That's all I could think was like, you are tall.
Yeah, it is definitely a big tall man right there. Chris Crow.
I don't know what to say. I always thought he was a cool dude. I always thought he was really nice. And when I met him, he was the same as he is now. Super cool. I met him in his first match actually in Elk River. He saw that my brother was wearing a Wilmer shirt. And he goes, "Oh, you guys are from Wilmer?" And we're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, me too." And I'm like, "I've never met you before."
Mm-hmm. Small town. How have you never seen?
Really cool. And when I thought he was really nice and super cool, and when he came back from Texas, same guy. I found out where he's working on accident and showed up there every day to say hi because he's a good friend. So,
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool. Tank, aka Jonte Dawson.
oh boy, we're getting into a story time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
I met
yeah.
Tank when I was 16 years old. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
MIW did this fantasy fan camp in Sleepy Eye, Minnesota, with a guy named the Zoo Man, Brent Mielik. I don't want to butcher his last name, but Mielik, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to that with my brother Alex. We showed up. I met Tank. Instantly had this about Mr. Steve Pepin. I was like, "You are a big man." And then we got to train for a bit together, and we got to cut promos together, and we got to do all this stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I thought he was really good in the ring for being a big man. He's moving and he's quick for a man his size. He is fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've loved Tank forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen him a few times. He's the bodyguard of 3 Under Par, and he's definitely a solid dude. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of a tank, we got another tank in the chat. Tank Bryson. There's only one tank. Oh man, do you happen to know Tank Bryson?
You're right, Tank. I do know Tank. I've been training with him ever since I went to MAW, or not MAW, Midwest All Pro. Excuse me. I've been training with him ever since I went down there, and cool guy. But Tank, you're losing the weight, so we can't call you Tank anymore. You're now Hank Bryson, bud. Just kidding. I stole that joke from Brandon Nitro, so credit where credit's due.
Oh man, yeah. I've still yet to see Tank Bryson in action, but I heard he was at the Chippewa Falls All Pro Wrestling show that we actually had Mr. T King on here talking about it. So the owner of that.
He sent me that, and he was like, "Dude, I just got a shout out," and I was like, "Dude, that's cool. That's what's up."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're both definitely
Tank, love
cool
you, brother.
He says no. Oh man, Tank's in denial. Stole the show.
Come on now.
Calm down, Hank. Calm down.
Yeah, really. Please calm down. This is Matt's time, not your time. You'll get your time soon.
This is Matt time.
Love you, Tank.
Tyler Bodine or Dine.
He's a very professional guy. That's all I can really say on that.
Okay. Elijah Alexander.
He's a bully. I don't like that guy.
Oh,
Man.
oh,
He went to kick me in the stomach. Ref didn't see it. He got me right in the nuts. So,
oh no.
not a fan of Elijah Alexander.
Not a fan. Oh man. And then lastly, one of the men you faced at WillmarMania, So Fresh.
Oh man, he's an interesting guy. Respect to him for doing the whole social media YouTube thing, but he's smacking me in the face. He's calling my hometown garbage. He's doing. Let's just say, when I was throwing those punches at So Fresh, I was throwing through him. I wasn't throwing them at him.
Yeah. I've seen him at. I think I first saw him at the MAW SDW collab show in January, and he was doing some vignette thing, and I was like, "Who is this guy? Is he a wrestler or something?" And then I was like, "Oh, I guess he is the wrestler." So he definitely interesting dude.
Oh yeah, very interesting. Doesn't shut up though. Likes to.
For sure, he does.
Yeah, he's definitely a big talker. All right, I'll let you go, Jesse.
All right. So, one more question, then we're gonna let you go for a night. So, who do you hope to one day face? It can be either a big name guy or somebody from the Minnesota area.
Oh, that's a loaded one. That's not loaded, but that's a big one. You know what? I'll do you one. I'll give you one from each promotion, and then I'll give you one that has kind of always been like a personal one for me. From Impact, it would either have to be Ace Austin, Sammy Callahan, or Sander. From AEW, it would have to be Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, or Kyle O'Reilly, because I kind of have similar styles with them. WWE, this is a little bit of a harder one. I would have to say Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, because he's the first wrestler there. I'll go with Ricochet on this one. I think that would
be yeah, those are
one. Yeah. And then the last one, the last two I'll give you. I'll give you three more because they're very big dream matches of mine. Well, the two are. The other one's no dream match. If you've heard of him, very good guy. And Killer Cross, that I would love. Nitro.
Yeah, those are all definitely awesome names right there. And I've actually I've got to see a few of those guys in person. I got to see Adam Cole first time in person when they were when AEW came to Target Center in November. So that was very awesome to see. And then I also saw Ace Austin in Fargo, North Dakota. He teamed up with I forgot his name, but the big tag team partner, and they faced
Madman
Fulton. That's right. They faced NDS. So yeah, that was definitely an awesome match. So
I was there.
Oh.
For that show too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. And the personal one I've known
Mhm.
Uh,
Uh, let's keep nodding. Oh.
his style connection.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now he's sideways again. What happened? Oh man, technology.
Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Oh, his audio cut out again.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh.
Do we start doing sign language to him? What are you
Yeah.
doing, Jeremy? Milking the cow or what?
Oh no. Oh man. I want to end it by him saying something, but
Well,
I don't.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Or well,
he sent me a message here.
okay. What did he say?
All right. He said, just plug my Insta and I'll let you all do Savage's interview.
Okay. So I'll do that. So yeah, Matt Shaw's Instagram is @IAM_Matt Shaw on Instagram. That's where you can find all of his wrestling stuff there. And yeah, definitely it'll be awesome to see him at more shows. And he's always yeah, he's got his booking information there. So yeah. And yeah, we'll close it out here. Thank you, Mr. Matt Shaw, for being on the Indie Talk show, and
Thank you
uh,
again.
hope you have a great night. So, yeah.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
All right. Live is ending.